Min, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who has been pretty guarded and maybe just a little bit sensitive after going through some difficult interactions or disappointments or betrayals. So, with this Queen of Swords, we have somebody that has been kind of on an island. But with the Ace of Chalices, there is a sense of connection coming through that seems different from the previous encounters or connections that they had sought. So it's a little bit of excitement and comfort coming through. Let's call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box along with more information on how to become a member, as well as how to become an owner of a homemade soy candle if you're interested. Hello, See the Gray. How are you doing? Hopefully, someone amazing. This is the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. Let's see what else we've got for you. Nine of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the Sun in the reverse. So there has been some anxiety for this King of Pentacles, struggling to feel a sense of happiness or fulfillment, perhaps. And it's because of that lack of connection to others. Like I said, kind of feeling like they're on an island. Wow. Another Ace of Cups. Lovers in the reverse and Eight of Cups in the reverse. So this is in part because of a pretty serious rejection or disappointment with the Lovers being in the reverse. Why are the Eight of Cups in the reverse? So it feels like there is some betrayal that happened for this King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords individual, feeling as though they had been lied to, someone had worn a mask. And with the Four of Cups being in the reverse, it feels like I did everything I should have, or I thought I was bringing the right energy to this relationship. I thought that I had found the person that I was meant to be with. So, in part, it feels like we have someone who was struggling to feel open to the idea of a new connection. And it feels like this King of Pentacles had been kind of fooled into believing that they had found a connection of substance that went beyond physical attraction. But with that Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, it looks like they may have been, they feel like they were fooled. Like, I thought this was going to be more of a spiritual connection, but it may have just been about the physical for the other person. Hello, Michaela. Hello, OKB. How are you doing? Hello, is it Habang? How are you doing? Hello. Should I call you Per? Oh. Well, hatred doesn't help anybody, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? I'm going to do personal questions after the general reading. If you'd like to put your question into a super chat, that would be in about 30 minutes. Otherwise, I do private readings. If you want to email me about it, that email address is in the description box. Hello, Raziel. How are you doing today? So we have the Hanged Man, the Emperor, and the Four of Swords in the reverse. Feeling like they had sent some elevated or like someone had worked on themselves, right? But then feeling like I've been fooled. I thought this was somebody that I could trust, but it ends up being Someone who is unhealed, but very adept at convincing me that they were healed. So, why are the Eight of Cups in the reverse? Feeling like they had been able to step away from the unhealed energy and finally found a relationship with somebody that was on their level. But as things got more serious, we have someone acknowledging that there was a lot underneath the surface that had been unnoticed or undiscovered. Feeling a bit bamboozled, I guess. Hello, Tito. How are you doing? What else do we have? Yeah, so I thought that this was a long-term connection, but now it looks like maybe you had just been looking for a relationship because you wanted the physical connection and you weren't willing to work with me on the relationship. Tower in the reverse, a little bit of stubbornness. Maybe even in terms of introspection, right? I really wanted this relationship to work out, so I was looking the other way when I encountered emotional manipulation. And with that Knight of Wands in the reverse, this could also be anger issues, but it seems like this is a person who was content to have the physical expression of love, but didn't want to get into the emotions. Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? Hello, Gerald. I hope you're having a good day. Nine of Cups, 10 of Wands, and the Two of Cups. So there's been this frustration over feeling like I found what I wanted, but then I didn't actually. I was just fooled by somebody who made it seem like they were interested in something more significant or more mature. So this is why we have somebody that has been a little hesitant, right? A little bit more like focused on their professional pursuits or their own healing. Death in the reverse, and feeling a little bit puzzled why they stayed in this connection that was more, I don't know, like a basic level, right? Not a deep connection. Hierophant in the reverse and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So I'll stay to myself. I'll avoid the connections. I'm not going to take a chance on anybody. I'll just work on myself. Don't spend too much energy judging yourself or feeling ashamed if you get into a connection with somebody who has worn a mask and you end up finding out that they are in fact wearing a mask. You got to be able to forgive yourself. Yeah, that's a long time, Raziel, to not have that connection kind of level up, right? But I hope you don't give up on love. Hello, Charlabite. How are you? How are you doing? Hello, Gracie. What's up? High Priestess in the reverse. Strength. So I do feel like whoever I'm reading for, you've taken your time to like bolster your intuition and discernment because you don't want to get stuck in a connection that is heavy on the physical intimacy but bereft of the emotional intimacy. So we have two eights coming through after that High Priestess in the reverse. Someone who has built up that discernment or confidence. And now with the Eight of Wands, I feel like there is a real connection coming through. Not somebody who's just trying to fake it until they make it. This is the Morgan Greer. Five of Cups in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune. Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, there's a shift that has happened. And it's almost like your spirit guides are saying, let's not get too focused on the past and the things that didn't work out. It's important to release that energy and focus on the positive things that are going to be coming forward for you. And not everyone's going to be wearing a mask, right? There are people out there that want to be authentic. What else do we have? Three of Swords in the reverse. Two of Wands in the reverse and the Devil in the reverse. There is a healed person that you do not expect to show up in your life. And they have the right intentions. So it looks like a person who has been ready to give up on love is finding justification to continue believing in love. Somebody shows up and has the right intentions, takes the right approach. Wow. Two of Cups. So you may feel a pretty instant connection to this person, and your first inclination or reaction is, I might need to run away. I've been here before. I thought things were going to go well, and then it didn't. Thank you, Gracie. Let me add that for you. Am I having telepathic connection with Jay? I have added that for you. Thank you, Gracie. Hello, RI Music. I'm putting you in a timeout because you have been spamming the live chat. Just so that you are aware, if you want me to do a few cards pulled for you, you will put your question in a super chat, and then I will add you to the list for after the general reading so that we don't have interruptions throughout the general reading. But I would advise you to not spam people's live chat like that. Thank you, Gracie. What else do we have? Lovers, the Moon, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is a heads up that it's important to have your discernment. It's important to have the ability to leverage that intuition before you get too close, because you don't want to have your heart broken, right? Notice this Queen of Swords, even like the back part beyond the crown, it has spikes on it. It's like, I don't want to let anybody in. I struggle to trust people. But this connection is not like the others. So while you may have felt like maybe love wasn't really a thing, and maybe everyone was just after that physical intimacy, you're being encouraged to rely on that intuition, because it will tell you the truth about this person who's expressing interest. Hello, 1996. How are you doing? Welcome back, Lemonade. We have the Star in the reverse and the Two of Pentacles in the reverse with the Page of Cups. I do feel like there's going to be a potential for miscommunication or misunderstanding. Like you jump to a conclusion, oh, this person's not messaging me back, or oh, this person is probably, on the dating apps or already in a relationship. Because with this Page of Cups, we have somebody who's kind of like, what's your surprise? What are you hiding? What are you lying about that I'm going to have to figure out? But Sometimes you just have to be willing to accept that maybe it's actually someone operating with good intentions. What else do we have? Mr. Potato Head. What else do we have? Conflicted. Oh, you're going to have multiple people showing up at the same time. That's part of the confusion. So you might go out on a date and meet somebody new within a couple of days of that date. And part of the confusion or difficulty in sorting through your feelings and the energy that you are encountering is that there's more than one person. Your intuition will guide you on which person can be trusted, because I do feel like one of them can be. And the other one, I think you can ascertain that this is somebody who's just looking for a little bit of booty, a little bit of naked time. You also might have some sense of surprise that a person is interested in you. So maybe you feel like this person is better looking than you. Maybe you're surprised because you're not usually that kind of person's type. I feel like it has to do with either money or looks, where you feel like this person should want somebody else, but they want you. And so you're looking at it as, what's the real reason you're interested? Give yourself some credit. Maybe they're picking up on your energy. Family, fertility, parenthood, pregnancy. Chasing, pursuit, toxicity, and resilience. Confession, unveiling, coming clean, and messages. You may also have some input from a family member, a brother or a sister, or maybe even a parent, that maybe their intuition isn't quite as strong as yours. Or maybe there's a lot of drama going on in your social community that makes it so that you're a little bit off your game. But I see there being two people interested. One person is trustworthy, has good intentions. Another person is perhaps a repeat of the past or not really aligned. And the defenses are pretty high for you right now because you've been dealing with people that were not being very honest or were hiding their true intentions. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. That means a lot. What else do we have? Ghoul, in the shadows I dwell, feeding on what I can, not remembering when was the last time life tasted well. So a little bit of negativity here, right? And it's important to be able to know yourself and see that, because ignoring it means you can't deal with it. So yes, you've had some difficulty in love. You've dealt with a lot of people that wear a mask. It's caused you to be more cautious when you interact with others, but you want to make sure that you're not like auto rejecting everybody, right? Hello, Static. How are you doing? What else do we have? Mirror Labyrinth and the Evil Queen. Oh my. Illusions and reflections. Who are you trying to fool? When you turn your back to the mirror, there's still someone looking at you. Evil Queen. Where love eludes, fear becomes my throne. What would a rose be without its thorns? So you've developed some thorns in response to dealing with people who don't know how to treat you. You might even have an RBF, or you might not be very interested in communicating with people. Wait, from me, you want me to give you a thumbs up? What's up, Dracula? We've got somebody here who's like very aware of themselves, but it was influenced by a previous connection and caused you to have a little bit of self-doubt, caused you to maybe even expect everyone to be working with negative intentions. But it's important to be able to use that discernment and appreciate that you actually have a love offer coming forward in the near future that is solid, that is real. The tricky part is there's also somebody here who, not so much. Probably better to avoid that. That is a good song. Hello, Jamaica. How are you doing? Chariot. Knight of Swords in the reverse. King of Pentacles in the reverse. So one thing to help you differentiate between the two people that you might be dealing with in the near future, one of them is going to be rushing you. One of them is going to be impatient, and it might be kind of masked as excitement, or, you know, I just know that you're my person. But the reality is this person who is impatient is running from a previous connection that made them feel rejected. So they're looking for external validation. They're looking to feel attractive or wanted. And I don't think that you're the only person they're talking to. So this King of Pentacles in the reverse is not it. This is the person that should be put in a timeout. The person that should not be able to have access. I would say probably more likely 3 times a day. Yes. I think it could be a clingy person. I think that's right, Static. Because this is someone who's looking to repair their bruised ego. And they feel like the best way to feel better about themselves after this recent encounter is not working on themselves or being on their own, but trying to find a very attractive person to be interested in them to make up for what happened previously. I would be cautious because I do think that there's going to be some sense of commiseration or even building rapport over the fact that they have gone through something similar to you. The difference being you seem to have actually worked through your problems or your feelings from that previous relationship. And perhaps this King of Pentacles in the reverse has struggled to do that or is not as well versed with that healing energy. Star in the reverse is followed by the Hanged Man in the reverse and another 4 of Pentacles in the reverse. So we have someone who is looking to get complimented or feel attractive and feel wanted, but they are likely to move through people pretty quickly. They're not interested in something long term. This is the Energy Oracle. What else do we have? Angel of Love, Rest and Rejuvenation. This is why it's important to not jump from relationship to relationship. You got to have some time for yourself. You got to be able to recalibrate. take in the information that you've gotten over the last several weeks, months, years, whatever it might be, and find yourself again. So that's what seems to be missing for this King of Pentacles in the reverse. They might have been in a relationship a week ago, and now they're talking to you. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. And woman holding a coin. On the other side of things, we have this Queen of Pentacles type energy. Does not mean that this has to be a woman. And the King of Pentacles does not need to be a man. But we have somebody who has actually been focused on their healing energy and is able to offer a stable energy. They're open to that connection, and their intentions are that long-term relationship, not just the external validation or the attraction. This is somebody who has been able to work through the things that have held them back, and they have an appreciation and understanding of what they want or what they're looking for. All right, let's see what else about this Queen of Pentacles energy, please. The Hierophant. 10 of Wands in the reverse, and the Tower. This is someone who has learned from the difficulties in their life, whether it is dealing with relationships or individual or professional. They've been tested. They've been dealt some difficult hands. They've had to deal with people that lie, wear masks, and disappoint them because they don't want to be honest about their intentions. But with the Tower, this is someone who has chosen to also focus on their healing in a way that they take those lessons and not so much internalize them in a negative way where they feel worse about themselves, but they know what to look for. They know what they don't want. Hello, X. How are you doing? Oh, welcome to the Chariots, Cozy Cat. I appreciate you. Well, that's because it's not exactly prevalent, you know, the number of people out there that actually consistently work on themselves and know themselves, right? So we have the Star in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. The risk here is you might see this person as unhealed when actually they have been working on themselves. So they have been able to, I think, take a little bit more time as an individual. And it might be like a gap on a resume where you're like, oh, well, if you took this time away and you didn't have a job, that probably means nobody wanted to hire you. Maybe you took some time off, or they took some time off to work on themselves. It shouldn't be seen as a negative. It was actually quite helpful for them to understand who they are and what they want. Two of Wands and the Eight of Swords. But you may be a little bit challenged in terms of your intuition or your discernment because of the other energy around you, or because of the frequency with which you've dealt with people that are wearing a mask. So take full advantage of the healing that you have gone through and leverage what you know to understand that this Hierophant Queen of Pentacles individual is someone you can trust. They are interested in being a good partner to you. We have the King of Cups, which talks about emotional maturity. The World, and Strength. So they've closed out a chapter. They have elevated above some of the difficult things, right? They've learned those lessons and they're stronger for it. Yes, There might be scars, there might be, regrets-ish. They know that it was important to take that path. They learned things they needed to, so that's why I say regrets-ish. It's more like, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did that, and as a result, I learned I can't date that kind of person, or I learned I need to take more time after a relationship to recalibrate. This is someone who knows themselves, and they're actually ready for a relationship. This is the Romance Angel Oracle. I'm not sure what you're saying there, X, but if you have a question that you would like me to answer as far as playing cards, you're welcome to put your question in super chat. Hello, Chantrice. How are you doing? You are lovable. You deserve love. So don't you go denying yourself a relationship just because you've encountered a lot of people who don't know who they are or don't know how to approach you. This person that you're about to encounter or that perhaps you have recently encountered, they have specifically been working on some family issues that made it difficult for relationships to work well. Ooh, let me write these down. Hello, Tiana. How are you doing? Thank you, Cozy Cat. Let me add that for you. For a living situation? Absolutely. Next week. Okay. I've added that for you. And hello, Melissa. How we doing? I'm adding that for you, Melissa. Thank you. Well, I hope your day improves, Chantrice. If you would like me to address that, you can toss your question into a super chat. You don't have to promise me that, Melissa. You're good. We've got separation and free yourself. So I feel like these cards are coming out because the initial person, that King of Pentacles in the reverse, they're more interested in rushing things because they want that feedback, right? They want to know that you want them and can't live without them, and let's just dive right into a relationship, right? But the healed Hierophant, the Queen of Pentacles energy that we also have here, this is someone who has patience. And I feel like you can feel that patience in the way that they talk, the presence that they possess lets you in on that, right? So they understand the importance of having time to themselves to work on themselves. But the King of Pentacles in the reverse, they are like the relationship that they were previously in just ended, like within the last, like, I feel like it's within the last 2 weeks, to be honest. And they need to be taking time for themselves before they dive into anything with you. So that's why we have this caution, especially since there seems to be two people both interested. All right, let's dive in on those personal questions. We've got Gracie and then Cozy Cat and then Melissa. For Gracie, am I having a telepathic connection with Jay? Yes. I'm hesitating because I don't like to be the person to suggest this. But there is a decent chance this person could be a twin flame. I want to stress, it is not for me to decide if this is a twin flame connection for you. And it is not for someone else to tell you. In fact, if someone says, you're my twin flame, I see a big old red flag. Like, oh, so you're looking to manipulate me? Oh my gosh, that's so great. But with the Eight of Cups and the Moon, this is like we separate, we come back. We separate, we come back. And then we have two moons that are very different. One kind of looking like the sun inside of the moon. So I do feel like at the very least, you two are two sides of the same coin. You have a lot in common, but you also have very divergent experiences of those energies, which means you can learn from Jay and Jay can learn from you. But the question mark is, will you actually do so, or are you going to get stuck in old habits? So it feels like there is multiple experiences, or you talk and then you go no contact. You reconnect and then you go back to no contact, which is a very twin flame kind of thing. Again, I stress you are the person who knows whether this is a twin flame or not. Please do not let me make that decision for you. But it is looking similar to the patterns that I see in twin flame dynamics. And the main idea behind a twin flame journey is, what can you learn about yourself in the eyes of another person? Because there's a mirroring element here. A lot of people twist that twin flame situation and feel like it's, oh, we're meant to be, you're the only person I can be with. It's meant to be, difficult, but we'll always come back to each other and I'll always have to choose you. No, 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 no. At a point, you will know if this person's actually invested in working on themselves. And if they're not, then it is on you to choose to retire that and let go of that connection because you're choosing yourself. Can this person love you, or is their point more to show you the love that you need to give to yourself? So be cautious. I do feel like there is some telepathic connection or deeper, but the main thing here is, what can I learn about myself and what can I learn about the world at large through this connection without it feeling like I have to be with this person? I hope that makes sense. Hello, Starlight. How are you doing? I was a little nervous about saying that, Gracie, so I feel a little relieved you were already looking at that. Yeah. But it is your choice on that, right? Or you're the one who can figure out whether or not that's true. Hello, Anthony. How are you doing? All right. Let's see. Let's see what we have with Cozy Cat. What does Cozy Cat need to know regarding living situation in the next week, please? What does Cozy Cat need to know about living situation in the next week? Page of Swords in the reverse, the High Priestess in the reverse, Six of Cups. I feel like there's an expectation here from somebody that you've known for a long time, and I feel like it's unfair. What else? So is there... It feels to me like there's someone who's trying to control or manipulate or make you feel like you owe them something. Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Hermit in the reverse. So I'm seeing advice here regarding boundaries. It's important to be honest with yourself and whoever else it might impact. What is necessary for you to feel comfortable in your own living space? Because there's someone here who seems to be trying to make rules and they don't deserve to make those rules, or they're testing you. Nine of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. So what I'm seeing is communication regarding expectations. This is how it is. This is what I expect. This is important to me, or Going forward, it needs to be different. There's a conversation that needs to happen. Otherwise, with the Tower, I see things escalating. Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles, and the reverse, Three of Pentacles. But there's still a way to make this work. It just hinges on that communication. So it's making me think of when I lived with my best friend, and she had... So I had just purchased my first house, okay, you guys? I was a little protective of it. And she rented a bedroom and had a small dog that she didn't really like taking outside. And so she would line the carpet, the white carpet, with those like pee pads. The pee didn't always make it on the pee pad. So we had some issues, right? This is hopefully not about actual dog pee, but I do feel like we have somebody that needs to have a clear understanding of rules, or there needs to be a conversation that might be a little bit tricky. So I hope that helps, but I do feel like there's a way to make things work out, or there's a way to get what you need from that situation. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people make to Gracie. I think a lot of people make the assumption that if it's a twin flame, it's something where you've known someone for a very long time, but that kind of energy is something that can happen very quickly, right? All right, let's see what we have for Melissa. This is the Noisy Tarot. Lee, I hope your day is going well. Will Melissa and Joe stay together? So we have there's a decision approaching Joe, and it's whether or not action is taken. And I feel like that action is much more likely if Joe feels like you are willing to walk away without this action happening. I'm not suggesting that you do an ultimatum, but it's kind of looking a little similar to that. And absolutely, thank you, Lee. To be honest, I feel like more so what it is if you take the initiative to say, I need to leave because this isn't happening, because, you know, I don't feel loved or cared for, then um, he has to feel like there's a chance you're actually going to leave in order to make a change. I do see there's a deep love here, but with this Queen of Pentacles, he feels like you would stay and he doesn't have to change. He looks at you as the Emperor in the reverse, somebody who doesn't have the ability to address it, somebody who would just kind of like accept things. So that's why he's giving the bare minimum, right? So will they get married? I don't see marriage. And maybe that's the sticking point, right? I believe you're with somebody who thinks you will accept below what you deserve. And somebody who does not work on themselves so the behavior doesn't change. So staying together is possible primarily because you love him. Staying together is possible primarily because you have the power to show that you're not willing to stay in a situation that doesn't like allow for you to be treated the way you deserve. But I feel like he's very stubborn with regards to the level of commitment that you want. Yeah, I mean, if I were a judge in that situation, I would be stunned. And I hope that this means that things are shifting in the right direction for you, Lee. Hello, is it Coy? How are you doing? Melissa, I'm sending you a big hug. You know, I want the best for you. I'm rooting for you. Let's see what we've got for Lee. This is me dropping something. All right. What do we have for Lee, please? Hello, Stevie. How are you doing? And you're welcome, Melissa. Hello, Starlight. Yes. I do sometimes do freebies, but I will admit I am hungry. I was supposed to eat earlier and I had like a couple bites of granola. I love that, Lee. Oh, that just makes me... Yes, Sage deserves that defense. So, Lee, we've got Ten of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Magician. Queen of Swords can be a lawyer. And it's funny because I was just reading you describe her as a gangsta. I feel like she's changing the script. She's making it improved, right? With the Magician. But what is this star in the reverse? Knight of Wands in the reverse, Two of Cups in the reverse, and the World in the reverse. Oh, this looks like Chris's energy. Yep. He's angry. Knight of Wands in the reverse. He feels like he doesn't have anyone on his side. And, you know, it's kind of funny because most people would probably look at that and be like, hey, maybe that means like I'm wrong or something. Maybe I should like check myself. No, he's sending a lot of negative energy outward because he feels betrayed. Like, why can't you see things from my perspective? So I do feel like there's going to be a desire to like pick fights or be obnoxious. But the truth is, somebody here is advocating for you and it makes him upset because he wants to be the victor. So what else does he need to know? King of Swords, Ace of Cups, Moon in the reverse. You're coming through as this King of Swords. You've been reliable. You've, you know, spoken the truth. And with this Ace of Cups, it's like a dawn of a new day. I don't normally see that with the Ace of Cups, but there's a more peaceful understanding of your situation or someone who's seeing your perspective. And with the Moon in the reverse, seeing the manipulative efforts by your ex. So there's going to be something, I feel like the agreement that you have is going to be improved upon. You don't deserve that, you know? You are right, Starlight. And Lee, I hope you don't take how he treats you as anything other than his own frustrations with himself and the things that he needs to work on. I really hope that that doesn't happen. But this attorney is breathing new life into that, right? Did I say hello to Grant? How are you doing? And Tiana, be careful. Nobody likes Yoko. So we have the Hierophant. And this one always makes me think of the Patronus from Harry Potter. I feel like there is someone looking out for you. Hold on, let me ask. Is this somebody who's passed on? I feel like there is someone who has passed on that is looking out for you. They're trying to put the thumb on the scale in order to benefit you and take care of Sage. There's someone advocating on your behalf from the other side. I hope that doesn't creep you out. Hopefully it brings you comfort. But yeah, I feel like this is a shift, a long awaited one. So I will be keeping you in my prayers. I admire and respect you, Lee. The things that you've gone through and the way that you continue to prioritize your child is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for bringing positive energy to each other in the live chat. That means the world to me. And I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.